Hi, welcome back to our channel. We regularly upload interesting videos on different stories. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy it. Today I'm going to explain the movie called Black Snake Moan from 2006. Spoilers ahead. At the beginning of the movie we see a couple named Ronnie and Ray. They're having wild sex because Ronnie is in the National Guard and he's deploying tomorrow. He doesn't want anyone else to have sex with his wife while he's gone the next morning. Ronnie is getting ready to leave, but Ray is not happy. But suddenly Ronnie has a panic attack, but Ray calms him down. This was rather common for Ronnie and he often gets panic attacks when Ray gets on his back and holds his hands. He feels relieved in the next scene. Ronnie is leaving and he tells Ray to go to her auntie's house, but Ray refuses to go there, and she starts crying because she really does not want Ronnie to leave. Ronnie calms her down and gives her a watch as a memento, and he keeps another similar watch for himself. He tells her that whenever the two watches beep together, they will feel closer to each other. Ronnie leaves with his friend Gil and Ray cries as he goes. After Ronnie's car leaves, Ray begins to act strangely and behaves promiscuously in his absence. She has sex with another man behind Ronnie's back. Ray is walking on the road and runs into her mom, but it wasn't a chance encounter because her mom offers her condoms. Clearly aware of what's going on in her life, Ray does not speak to her mom and leaves. We'll get to the reason for her cold shoulder later on. There's a man named Lazarus who used to be a blues guitarist, but now he's a farmer. Lazarus is telling his friend that he has never once beat his wife, not even while drunk. He tells him this because his wife Rose threatens to divorce him every single day. Actually, Rose is having an affair with Lazarus, his brother. He goes to meet his wife for the last time. He tells her to stop treating him this way, but Rose brushes him off and leaves the restaurant. Bitter and angry, Lazarus comes back to his house with a broken heart. He notices the rose garden outside his house and his mind is filled with memories of his wife and their lives. Together he had even written a poem for her, but after reciting the poem, Lazarus destroys the garden with his tractor. Lazarus is sitting at a bar and is clearly upset. A lady comes up to him, aware that his wife has left him, and attempts to reassure him that it's not a big deal. She invites him to her room, but Lazarus is not interested and leaves. Lazarus is drinking beer and smoking cigarettes. When his brother, who's having an affair with his wife, shows up, he tries to sweet-talk him and lighten his mood. But Lazarus is furious and threatens to attack him with a broken glass, but he eventually comes down from his fury and lets him go. Meanwhile, Ray is out partying, doing drugs and having sex with a slew of other men. The watch that Ronnie had given her beeps. Poor Ronnie thinks maybe Ron is missing him, but in reality Ray is cheating on him. After the party, Ray passes out and her friends just leave her there. Gil, a friend of Ronnie's, takes her with him to his car. He tries to take advantage of her but Ray mocks him, saying that he isn't even packing half the size compared to Ronnie. This angers Gil and he beats Ray unconscious. Gil, thinking he killed her, leaves her on the side of the road and runs away. The next morning, Lazarus is throwing away all of his wife's clothes in the trash. He sees a girl lying on the road covered in blood. He takes her into his home to rejuvenate her as Ray is coming to. She mistakenly thinks Lazarus is a man she has previously slept with and starts to make moves on him. But Lazarus tells her that he's not who she thinks he is, though he is familiar with the guy she mistook him for, whose name is Tyrone. He goes to buy medicine for Ray and runs into a friend at the shop who has feelings for him. Lazarus takes the medicine and the friend doesn't accept his money. He heads back to his house where Ray is having a dream. In her dream, she sees a guy coming onto her and trying to have sex with her. More on this later. Lazarus returns home and finds Ray sleeping. He tries to wake her when she suddenly opens her eyes and starts kissing him passionately. Lazarus pushes her away and steps outside for some time. He's wondering who this nymphomaniac is that he's brought into his house. He realizes that this girl is so hot and that he should cool her down, so he goes inside and gathers some ice to put in the bathtub. He takes Ray and puts her in the icy water. Lazarus notices that she's saying the name Tyrone. He immediately goes to Tyrone's house so he can acquire information about Ray. Tyrone tells him who she is, that her name is Ray and that she's a sex addict. Ray is trying to escape from Lazarus' house, but Lazarus stops her and brings her back. Inside, Ray begs him to have sex with her, but Lazarus is a good guy and he turns her down. He tells her to go to sleep. Lazarus thinks he needs to teach this girl a lesson. He fetches a chain from his storeroom. The next morning, Ray is back to her senses and asks Lazarus how long she's been staying at his house. He tells her that she's been there for 2 days. After he found her on the road, beaten, bloody and unconscious, Ray tells him that she has nothing to offer to show her gratitude for helping her, but Lazarus says he doesn't need anything. Ray accepts this but wants to go now. She removes the blanket and realizes that she's tied up in chains. She freaks out and screams at Lazarus. He tells her he hasn't touched her, she was injured, so he treated her wounds. That's all Ray assures him. She's all healed and can walk on her own feet now, and she demands to be untied. Lazarus does not let her go, telling her it wouldn't be right for her to be set free. She will just continue to go about in a perpetual sex craze, and he can't have that. Ray pushes him away. And then she tries to escape, but the chains are too strong. Lazarus pulls her back and gives her something to eat. Ray tries many times to seduce Lazarus, but he never succumbs to her advances. One day Ray is sitting on the sofa and tells Lazarus not to come near her or she will destroy him with her hotness. He just tells her to shut up. Lazarus goes to buy some clothes for Ray, and a teenage boy who works on the farm goes to the house and calls for Lazarus from outside. Hearing his voice, Ray begins to act as if she had found her victim. The boy calls Lazarus from outside again, stating that he's there for the butter bill. Unsuspecting of what was waiting for him inside, he enters the house and Ray jumps at him with aggressive kissing and lures him into having sex. After some time, Lazarus returns and sees the boy and Ray together and kicks him out of his house, though he soon regrets doing this, since the boy was not at fault. Lazarus sees that one of his friends has come to visit, but he can't let him inside the house or else Ray will try to seduce him as well. His friend is confused at why he's not allowed inside. Lazarus threatens to shoot him if he takes one step further towards the house. The friend in disbelief is frozen at the thought of Lazarus shooting him. Lazarus gets emotional and tells him the truth, that he has a naked girl inside his house that he found on the side of the road. His friend is unable to fully comprehend the situation, asking if Lazarus just picked her up like free candy. Lazarus tells him everything, that the girl is a nymphomaniac and that he wants to teach her a lesson to cure her of this addiction. His friend agrees to help him. Lazarus tells him to just step inside and he'll see what's wrong with her. He goes inside and sees Ray sitting on the floor completely nude. Ray doesn't try to seduce him though, because she's only recently had sex with a boy from the farm. So he is able to sit with her and have a chat. Meanwhile, Ronnie has come back from overseas and goes to Gil's house to look for Ray. Ronnie tells him he thinks she ran away with someone else. Gail tells him that Ronnie being with Ray was a mistake. She was like this in college as well, always sleeping around. Ronnie gets angry at Gil, beats the fuck out of him and leaves. Ray is wearing a nice dress because Lazarus untied her and took her outside for a walk. As they're walking through the mall, she runs into her mom again. Her mom asks if she's still a sex addict, and Ray accuses her mom of allowing her to become this way when she was younger. She was raped by her stepfather while her mom was in the next room over, but did nothing to save her. Now Ray has recurring nightmares from the trauma of being raped. This is why Ray doesn't speak to her mom. The two of them are fighting when Lazarus comes up, takes her in his arms and goes home. Lazarus is teaching Ray how to play guitar, playing the song Black Snake Moan by Blind Lemon Jefferson. When Ronnie appears thinking that Ray was having an affair with his old man, he argues with Lazarus, who's able to control him, and tells him that he has done nothing sexual with Ray. He tells him that she's like this because of the incident from her childhood, but now she has changed. Ronnie understands this and apologizes to Lazarus. Ronnie and Ray are getting married, and in the wedding the farm boy and the lady from the store are also present. Because of Ronnie and Ray's marriage, Lazarus and his friend also get together. In the last scene of the movie, Ronnie and Ray are in a car. When Ray begins to act strangely again, Ronnie starts having a panic attack, but Ray controls herself and hugs Ronnie from behind to comfort him. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen, and don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last I will say, stay safe, stay well, thanks.